about the steps taken to prepare our research team to be able to do survivor-sensitive research. 5 organisations trained at different time points over the 4 years, and this was focused on achieving trauma-informed research, as well as promoting self-care for the project team and the LEG members. The LEG members were fully integrated into training activities, both by attending training and also delivering training. Our latest training session involved Gillian teaching us about the window of tolerance. It was also the LEG that insisted it was important for us to look after ourselves too and call for the project team to set up structured clinical supervision, which has been very strengthening for us as individuals and in the team. Recruitment into the study. One of our very first engagements was at a young people support group that Grace already mentioned at Prasac. We showed them a participant information sheet and asked what their thoughts were, and the first thing they said was, why don't you just make a video instead? So following on from their suggestion, we looked into making a video to introduce ourselves and explain why we were conducting the research. The plan was just to make one video for young people, and then we decided that maybe we should do one for adults as well, and then maybe one for professionals. Anyone that's worked on this project will know how much we love the video. Poor John, who is filming our presentations today, thought he was just making one that day, but he ended up making 3 in one day. This man has the patience of the saints. This video was co-produced with the LEG group with the aim of encouraging and enabling survivors and SARC service users to join our longitudinal study. Understandably, there are particular challenges to reaching and building trust with people that have been exposed to recent and non-recent abuse. And the knowledge and sensitivities of the LEG members helped us to do that. The LEG was so essential for us from the very beginning. We worked together on the exclusion criteria of the participants, and they felt very strongly that all survivors should be given the opportunity to be involved. The group shaped what our interviews with survivors looked like. One specific example is that the group highlighted the connections between unhealthy eating and exposure to abuse. The group was directly responsible for a change in the study protocol to add measures to assess eating behaviours and problems. Furthermore, our initial proposal did not involve asking about suicidality and self-harm. The research team was reluctant to ask such sensitive and personal questions, but the LEG insisted it was essential to understand the extent of the impact people were living with, and we ensured responding to suicidality was part of our training and safety protocols. The LEG would often mention words that we should not use and that could be a trigger, and they educated us immensely. Their advice and guidance has been invaluable to the project. The LEG made yet another video. See, I did tell you that we love our videos, which was a photo voice project. The group led its own output during the pandemic, where members identified photos that held significance or meaning for them in terms of their own recovery journeys. The project gave them the resources needed, filming, media support, funding for their time, and they did the rest. This video was all developed over Zoom, and the project provides a platform for members of impactful content, and we're going to share a clip of this video at the end of the current session. Let's get through the quotes, because I think you guys will get that in the next session. The LEG is also integral in analysing and making sense of the data collected from research interviews. This is the best example of LEG members as peer researchers or co-researchers, with their personal lens is used to make sense of the data and share it with the world. I'm going to pass you over to Conchetta, that's going to facilitate the panel.
Thank you, Priya. Hi, everyone. I think we've only got the time to do one round of answers from everybody, correct, Lorna? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a really annoying panel questionnaire and ask you 3 questions in one, okay? So I'm going to get them all in there. So the people who are in the LEG group, I want you to let us know what the impact has been on you. And there's, there may be positive things that were harder, and how it's been part of your own journey and your own recovery, if it has, and if there's been any hidden emotional costs for you. Now, shall I start over here, or
maybe let people just know?
Or do people want to spontaneously grab the mic?
I want to stand up and thank you for actually being here, because I'm looking at a huge number of empty chairs. And actually, when I think about what we've been talking about today and listening, it's all been important. But I know that from my colleagues here, many of them, this is their first time they've been part of something as huge as this. And I know that the people have left for valid reasons. they've had to catch a train, or they've got to pick a child up from school, or a myriad of other things. But this is what happens in services. And I had a sinking heart when I stood up and I turned around, but I knew it was going to be like this. And it's one of the messages to take back with you is, thank you for staying. I've got a question. How's it been for me? I've been around for nearly 30 years as an activist, as a survivor. And it's not all I am, it's not who I am. I'm so much more than that description. But I also wanted to influence the way that services are delivered and how accessible they are. And so right from that word go, anybody put your hand up if you know me, I'm quite gabby. But what I have found in recent years with both the SAS project within NHS England and Kate Davis particularly, and also this particular project, I found it has been extremely lived experience perspectives. I felt we've had opportunities to influence, to change the way some parts are going to be asking questions about self-injury, self-harm, suicide, eating disorders, that went in there, didn't it? And that for me is important. And I wanted to say it's not just about influencing sexual assault and abuse services, but the wider perspective of trauma. You know, when we go, like I've had a recent pacemaker fitted, I wanted to be able to say to the cardiologist, I need this to be a trauma-informed service without having to explain more. And actually, him being able to respond to what I needed, and he did. He's the equivalent of William. But it is that. It's much more than sexual assault and referrals to these services and the third sector. It's about the wider NHS being trauma receptive in terms of how we work with individuals. So I have got an opportunity to influence, so thank you for that.
Guess we're going around after all. Yeah, I think for me, just being part of the lived experience has been empowering. I think everything sort of Julian said, it's different. When everything happened to me, I never reached out. I never contacted the service. When I told my friends, they had really strange reactions. My mother even worse so. And I've had this experience where I've realised that actually someone's listening to me. This is the first time that someone has listened to me, and I can influence things. And it's just brilliant. I think everything that we do, everything that the research team asks us, it's all for benefit of other people, and it feels good, which is something I never thought I'd say after everything. So yeah, thank you for being part of that.
For me, it's really helped my journey in terms of building resilience. So, I mean, if I cast my mind back to the spring, I had to stop watching EastEnders. I'm a big Cat Slater fan. So it was really hard because there was a male rape story running in it, and at that time I couldn't even hear the word rape without having a physical, quite visceral reaction to it. And yet here I am today, probably hearing that word about 100 times in the course of the day. And the difference is so, yeah, I'm kind of really acknowledging that, but it's because of my involvement in this project. It kind of normalises talking about it. I'll just be, at work in my day job, which is not in this field, it's in the arts. I might see an email, and it doesn't trigger me anymore. And I think that's, for me, that's what I'm going to take away.
I just what everyone else said really, that we were actually listening to when it weren't just like, oh, we're a group and they just took little bits, like we've been involved like the whole way through. And actually seeing that hope that I had at the beginning and seeing that actually making change and that actually happening, and it's not just like, oh, we're doing this study and nothing's going to happen from it. Speaking to Natalie earlier, I was explaining how different Crassic is now to even when I went through therapy, and so much has changed already. And I think that's really good, so that's what I'll take away from it.
For me, it's more the feeling of putting along has been huge in the group. That's helped me quite a lot. That's all I want to say.
Thank you so much. Really powerful contributions. Okay, I'm going to read something from Geraldine. I'm not sure you all have the opportunity to read this before the session, and I'm not sure whether that will be useful, but I wanted to say that for me, this work has been so important for so many reasons. Here are a few. Resilience by being part of a larger group of patient and understanding people. Feeling part of a larger group, speaking, thinking, feeling about these issues definitely contributed to my personal resilience. As you know, this kind of experience can be isolating, and I felt burned out after 5 years of legal proceedings all alone. This project gave me the opportunity to break some of that isolation with patient people who understood and knew. I learned so much about the different aspects of sexual abuse and loved working on the composites. It felt very positive to be able to both contribute and learn at the same time. I found learning about other experiences invaluable, and normalising talking about sexual abuse seems key to better address this. And last but not least, the Meet Ouch team always made me feel very welcome, and you have all been so supportive. Thank you, from Geraldine. Before we close, which we're going to do with a video, thank you for your contributions. They are powerful and also very resonant for me as a survivor researcher too. And we have summarised it in Survivors' Voices. The title of our charter, which is called From Pain to Power, originally was called Turning Shit into Gold. I think it pretty much sums up the journey. So well done for everybody contributing. And now Lorna is going to press play, and we are going to finish with a beautiful video. Thank you all very, very much.